It's now more than 20 years since a team of cave divers was trapped deep below the Nullarbor Plain after flash flooding blocked the entrance to the cavern they were exploring. 2 days later they emerged safely from their ordeal, and now their story is the inspiration for Hollywood heavyweight James Cameron's latest 3D thriller. SANCTUM was written by an Australian cinematographer who was in the cave when it collapsed and gives audiences a taste of the team's subterranean nightmare. Danielle Parry reports.
Deep below the Nullarbor lies a maze of water-filled caves, kilometres of narrow passages and giant caverns winding their way beneath the dusty plain. Few have ever ventured here, but in 1988, some of Australia's leading cave divers embarked on a mission to film the Panican Plains cave and share its secrets with the world.
I was leading a cave diving expedition to a cave near Cocklebiddy. We were hoping it would be sort of the Everest of underground, if you will. It's like opening Pandora's box. Once you're in that world, you want to see more and more.
To go into a tunnel, which no person on this world has ever seen before, is a little bit like Neil Armstrong walking on the moon. You're the first person, and that is a great adrenaline rush.
The divers had just started packing up their gear after almost a month in the cave when trouble started brewing above ground.
And I got up on the surface, I was pulling things up, and I was looking at this big cloud coming towards me. It suddenly, these amazing winds hit us, ripped off part of the roof of a caravan near us and nearly wiped us out with a piece coming off the caravan. And then a torrential downpour started with very large hailstones.
Surface to chamber. Are you receiving? Over.
Chris Brown was stuck on the surface as a freak storm dumped twice the annual rainfall in just a few minutes. It sent a river of water racing down into the cave where his wife had been helping the team pack up.
We could hear a sort of a thunder in the distance and loose rocks starting to fall on top of us. So we just ran.
They scrambled to safety with only their headlamps to guide them, but somehow captured this sound of the cave collapsing as they ran.
I haven't forgotten that sound. It was quite amazing, really, just being on the inside of a cave when it's collapsing.
If you take boulders the size of motor cars, you take the strongest flowing river you've ever been next to in your life and a waterfall, mix that together and then throw in about 30 or 40 steel scuba tanks and then bounce them off the walls. All you can hear is this cacophony of water, grinding boulders and steel being mashed against the side of the cave.
When the torrent subsided, this is what was left of their escape route.
What you're looking at here is a mass of rock lying atop of the path we used to walk. Some 2, 3, maybe even 4 meters at points of rock is on top of our equipment.
13 people are reported to be buried alive.
Hopes of saving 13 people trapped in a cave collapse on the Nullarbor.
A massive rescue underway to free 13 trapped cavers.
All below had survived, but were trapped under tons of rock and mud. They had no choice but to dig their own way to the surface.
Careful, Colin. It's real slippery and real unstable.
It took the best part of 2 days to get everyone out.
There's a cake. Great stuff.
It was late at night when I got out, and it was just good to, feel the air on your face.
The storm has turned into a cyclone! Guys, the cave is flooded! You think?
More than 2 decades on, their amazing adventure below the Nullarbor is now the inspiration for a new movie, written and produced by Andrew Wight, who shot the original documentary, and backed by Hollywood heavy hitter James Cameron.
It took me about, I reckon, 3 seconds to convince him that it was good for him. I mean, it has all the elements that Jim likes. It has the underwater stuff, it has adventure.
It goes like this. See what I mean? I did my first cave dives and shot some test footage and so on before we started the film, before we'd even written it. And we really saw right away that the 3D and the cave diving went together beautifully.
SANCTUM tells the story of a fictional cave diving expedition in the South Pacific that's struck by disaster when a huge tropical storm hits. It's Australia's first 3D feature film and was shot on the Gold Coast using the cameras custom designed for the filming of James Cameron's Avatar.
I'm fully committed to 3D as the future of the way we absorb our entertainment. I think it's slowly going to completely take over at the cinema over the next 5 years.
Making a film almost entirely underwater was a logistical nightmare and a physical challenge for its stars, including Australia's Richard Roxburgh, who's described it as the most gruelling shoot he's ever done.
It gets complex very quickly when you're dealing with water, there's no doubt about it, and particularly if you're dealing with novices who haven't dove before, including myself, so I had to learn to dive.
What the hell was that?
The finished product is not for the faint-hearted or the claustrophobic, and for Andrew Wight, that was precisely the point.
What I'm really excited about is the way people respond to it. And I think, from my personal real-life experiences being stuck in a cave, underground, underwater, and what that felt like to me, I can see visibly in the audience, in the picture theatre, that they're having similar reactions.
I'll see you on the other side.
Could have picked a better choice of words.
It's very visceral, and that feeling of claustrophobia and the feeling of being out of breath, it's all tangible and real, even in the cinema.
Danielle Parry with that report. And